Hi, welcome to another workout on Scaffolding for Success. Today we're going to talk about the 5 sabotages, and we want to figure out a way to turn them from sabotages into strengths. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So let's review really quickly what scaffolding does. Scaffolding is that structure that we put around ourselves while we're changing our behavior, our identity, our relationship with food, and even our relationship with other people. It helps us to identify the resources that we have. It creates a safety net, and it gives us the security to explore our new selves and connect with our own identity with authenticity. So it becomes very important. So we want to look at the 5 sabotages that most of us get into when we're making these changes. The first one is a power struggle. Now, before I talk about power struggles or any of the other sabotages, I want to point out that these patterns, these sabotages, haven't always been sabotages. They actually started out as ways that we got through hard things. And most of the time, these sabotages happened when we were young, or they were formed when we were young, these patterns. And so often a power struggle helped get us through a time when we felt helpless, and we needed to feel like we were in charge of our own self, our own decisions, our own outcomes. And so when we were young and we didn't have a lot of resources to help us cope, we just kind of went into rebellion a little bit, at least internally, maybe not externally, but internally we said, no, you can't make me do it. And so a lot of these sabotages are actually younger patterns that we developed when we didn't have as many resources. So they started out as friends, and now they're still doing their job the way they learned how to do them. And so they have become less than our friends. We're going to talk about how to teach them, how to upgrade them so that we have ourselves 2.0 and upgrade the purpose for them. So the first one is the power struggle, and it's based on the fact that we feel safer when we're in charge of our own decisions. So when other people tell us what to do, we tend to react and hurt ourselves in the process. When you find yourself involved in a power struggle, instead of getting into that power struggle, take a step back, deep breath, and notice if there's any suggestions that might be useful. Could it be that this person really isn't trying to control you or hurt you? And even if they are, no one can compel you to do anything that you don't want to do, but you can injure yourself if you go off your plan just to prove that you can. So we want to reconsider that as a strategy. The second sabotage is the internal belief that extra weight protects us, and it can protect us from a lot of things. I just put the 4 of them: abuse, from expectations, keeps us invisible. It even can protect us from ourselves, from getting into compromising situations or into places that we don't think we would succeed. So instead, we want to start cultivating the belief that we are enough. We don't have to prove anything to anyone else, just to ourselves. That we're smart enough, wise enough, and we can keep our own self safe. If you don't think you can, find ways to learn to do that. They could be self-defense groups, they could be confidence groups, they could be socialization groups. Find mentors, teachers, classes to help you build your skill, and then have a plan going into every situation. And that will help give you the confidence that you need so that you don't need to have the weight protect you. The third one is entitlement, or fear of being deprived, and this usually originates in childhood when your needs weren't being met, and they didn't have to be physical needs. Usually they're emotional needs, where we turn to food because we didn't have people to turn to. And so we feel entitled as adults to have those needs met, usually with food, or we fear being deprived of those needs, so we sort of eat ahead to forestall any deprivation that we see on the horizon, or we believe might be there. So try this next time you feel like you're going to be deprived, or you feel entitled to have that thing that you're not supposed to have. Go in and ask yourself, where am I feeling this feeling, and how old do I feel when I feel this feeling? And if you feel younger than your actual self, then you're likely experiencing a childhood trigger. And so remind yourself Remind that child part of you that you have an abundance and not a scarcity, and that there's other ways to get your needs met now in your current world than your child self had when they were younger, and you're there to help your child do that. I have a special visualization to help with that if you would like it. It's in the notes, and so just click on it and it will take you to that visualization to help you get there. The next one is fear of either success or failure. That pretty much says it all. A lot of times it's human nature to have fear, and it's a lot of human nature to fear that we're going to succeed or we're going to fail. So it's really hard when we set ourselves up with bariatric surgery because we're afraid we're going to gain the weight back. It's going to be public, people are going to know, and it really is difficult. So try this instead. Remind yourself that there is no such thing as failure, only feedback. If you take control of your perception of failure or of success, then that gives you the power to take a deep breath and overcome the fear. If things don't work out, ask these 3 questions. What went wrong? What will I do next time to make sure it doesn't go wrong again? And how will I do it? Those are the 3 life-changing questions. So that's the feedback. A lot of times we learn way more from our failures or perceived failures than we do from our successes, but we do it by asking those 3 questions. And that gives us hope and strength and courage to try it again. The last one is lack of motivation or belief that you'll change. And again, motivation and belief are the 2 things that we look at every single day. So if it seems too hard, sometimes we just give up. We lack motivation. It's really hard. And once we believe it's not going to work, or if we get just too tired, we quit trying. So try this. Start doing the thing without letting yourself think about it. Don't overthink it. Don't say in 10 minutes I've got to get up and exercise, or I cannot eat that cookie ever again. Don't think about it ahead of time. Just doing creates motivation. That's what the research has shown us. So there's a lot of ways to just start doing. Best to just jump in and do it without thinking about it. But Mel Robbins, in her book, The 5-Second Rule, she does the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown like a rocket blasting off. And it actually works. So if you've got to make yourself get up and do that thing, you just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you jump up. And motivation is something that comes after you're doing a lot of the time and not before. Sometimes you're lucky enough to get it before, but usually it's after you're doing it. So our reflection workout today. In your journal, answer the following questions. Which is the sabotage I struggle with the most today? And what is my plan for making that sabotage into a strength? The plan could be some suggestions that are on those slides, but it also could be, I'm going to look at what went wrong, what I'm going to do about it next time, and how I'm going to make it happen. So there's all kinds of ways to make that plan, but every day you want to do just a little bit better, little by little by little, just in degrees. That's what builds strength. Just like physical muscles, emotional muscles get built that way. And again, every day you notice how strong's my belief, how strong's my motivation. Those need to be 6 or above. And if they're not, those are the things you want to work on that day. Inventory your resources, your scaffolding resources, and notice what your challenges are so that you're not surprised when you encounter them. And your day will go very well. Again, look for that link to the childhood issues that have to do with entitlement and deprivation. If that's what you'd like to do, it's a great visualization to try to get you through those. Have a great day and enjoy your workout.